What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chillin With Rick. Let's get right to the sponsors because I got a big guest here today. Papa Top, just down the street from my house, not yours. Go out there. They have local music right on their deck, food, beer, Adirondack chairs, 2 bars. Yeah, it's a fun time. Go there. The owners are wonderful people. Go give Papa Top a try. Frog's Bar. The owner there, she's a wonderful human being. I mean, she'll do anything for anybody. And they have food there on Wednesdays. They have an outdoor stage. They have outdoor bar. And that place is jamming all the time. Mary is the owner. Tell her Chillin sent you. Oneida Carpets. Oneida Carpets has your flooring needs installed by true professionals, located at 174 Madison Street in Oneida. 315-361-9800. Lynn White and Scott White are the proprietors, owners. Thanks for the snapshot, WWJ. And go see them. Tell them Chillin sent you. And let's see, we have Boogie Dad's Performance, Steve Sealman. He owns that, and he owns he manages Whitestown Automotive, just up the Thruway Bridge in Westmoreland. For all your car fixing needs, he'll hook you up, the last honest mechanic in this world. Go see Steve Sealman. He goes by Big Steve. Tell him Chillin sent you. All right, let's get to the main event. I have with me today actor, musician, bass player, singer, songwriter, and new to the resume, professional twerker. Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne W. Johnson.
Did he actually say that? Oh my God.
How are you, brother?
Great. How you doing, man?
Good. It's always good to see you, Wayne.
It's good to see you too, man.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about this? Sponsors and everything now?
You got me in the shade. You know that I'm a sweater.
I'm going to have to borrow that too.
Yeah.
We'll pass the sweat right back and forth.
Oh yeah, it's. I tell you, it's. I wish there was some way I could take the sweat glands off temporarily, but can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. But yeah, this is great, man. I mean, nice lav mics here we have here. So that's I see that's awesome.
Yes.
You know, so hopefully you can hear me. If you can't,
oh, they can hear you.
Well, we'll have to do a closed caption thing. You're gonna have to type out everything.
That actually comes up automatically. Closed
really?
caption.
Technology.
It's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing.
So have you seen the Golden Girls? Picture it, Sicily, 1922, all that kind of stuff.
I'm not that old.
She says that in the on the episode. So just bear with me. I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
Picture it. Early summer, 2022. Rick scrolling through Facebook like it's the frickin' New York Times. And I see...
1922? Facebook?
2022.
Oh, 2022. Did I say I'm also professionally getting more deaf?
And I see Caroline Blue coming to the Oneida American Legion on September 24th.
Yeah.
Huh. Rick didn't know anything about this. I remember in our interview in 2019 that I strongly suggested you get the band back together. I didn't get a message like, hey, Rick, just a heads up, the band's getting back together. I didn't get nothing like that, Rain. I'm a little bit mad at you about that.
If it's any consolation, nobody got that either.
But it was a nice surprise.
I didn't send that to anybody. Actually, there was a bunch of things that were supposed to be set up.
Yeah.
And happening kind of at like a marketing plan in a way.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a few things still haven't fallen into place. You know, that's the way things go with plans. You make the plan, something screws up, you adjust. Something else screws up, you adjust. You just keep going until you finally get to, in this case, the show on the 24th. But yeah, there's a couple of things that didn't work out, and I was trying to do it to get what I hoped was maximum impact. Maximum impact.
You got me.
Yeah, not for maximum impact, not that way. His lady would be really pissed off at me if I did that. So, so I wanted to do things, and like I said, things aren't exactly, all the dominoes aren't lined up. Some of them have kind of diverted off. For example, I'll just say, on our flyers and on our promotion, it says CarolineBlue.com. Okay, .com. I'm actually going to have 2 sites. with Caroline Blue. One is .com and the other one's .net. I own both domain names. .net is more of the history and the legacy of the band, and .com is focused solely on, you know, whatever the current lineup is. And the problem is the old website, I've been spending years trying to port that over because parts of it disappeared. There's all sorts of drama that happened with that. And if you see my site, shameless plug, WayneWJohnson.com, it's a very large site. Take that and multiply it around 2 or 3 times. That's the Caroline Blue site, because there's interviews, there's CD reviews, there's all sorts of stuff that's on there. So unfortunately, the .com site is not up. Okay. I did get .net up, but even that's not, there's big holes in it. Yeah. Because there's stuff that disappears, like when we do interviews and stuff. That's why sometimes, usually, like I even done this with you, I said, can I get a copy or can I put this anywhere and stuff? Because what'll happen is I do this type of stuff and all of a sudden it disappears. And it's like, well, it's like what happened, you know? And that's, you know, they say everything on the net is forever. No, it's as long as the server is there. And then once the server's gone, unless somebody saved it, it's gone. You know, so.
Don't even get me going with Chillin' With The Rick. Sean Plord's working on fixing that. I think you know Sean.
Yes, I know Sean. He actually did, he played a Caroline Kiss gig. Yes. Which was, that was like our show, a tribute to Kiss on Halloween. Yep. And he played Ace. Yep. And he had a wig on. And someday, I have so much video of just Caroline Blue, let alone all my other past bands and all sorts of interesting things that have happened in my life that need to be digitized and put up eventually, slowly but surely. Yeah. I'm getting it up there, but you know, I just did a sleep study not too long ago, and I just put that up there. But that's what my girl
does for a living, man.
Yeah, she might have been the one that was like, keep him asleep, keep him asleep.
Dracula's sleeping.
Yeah, he's sleeping.
There's a million things I want to talk about with you, so
go for it.
When did you decide that you were going to get the band back together? When did that happen?
It's always been in the back of my mind to get a live lineup. To me, as delusional as I am, the band never really went away because I was always working on little things here and there, and I would do that. But admittedly, since COVID, nothing happened. I did, you know, if you go on the CarolineBlue.net site right now and you go to news, you'll see like the last bit of news was like 2019. Oh. I believe, and then there's nothing on 2020 or 21. Yeah. And it just so happens that things just kind of rapidly fell into place in terms of the new members, you know, one after the other. So I was like, well, you know, I wasn't necessarily thinking about a live lineup again. I was more concentrating on trying to get new music and new music videos and going that way, something that I could just do by myself, even though it would take forever and a day, as anybody knows, you know, that it has been. But you know, an opportunity happened, and it was just like, I'm going to capitalize on it as best I can for as ever long as I can. You know? So anyone who knows the lineup for Caroline Blue has changed multiple times. I think there's been like at least 20 different lineups, I think. Sometimes it's just one-offs, sometimes part-time members, sometimes guns for hire. You know, you got to do what you got to do to make things happen. And, you know, and when this came about, I wasn't necessarily looking to have a live lineup. Yeah. But, you know, you have to adapt. Yep. You know, and it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Wait until I actually need the lineup and then go through all the auditions and everything like that? It's like, no, it's like, okay, it's right here. We'll adjust the plan. Yep.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm already starting to sweat heavily, and I'm just sitting here. You know, so as a very famous Oneida area musician, Jerry Yerman, used to say, it's time for a lovely beverage, and if you see me reaching for a lovely beverage, you too should reach for a lovely beverage. Although this time I'm going to get the Aquafina because this was provided for me for free, and I'm not going to give up a free thing.
This is your payment.
You didn't tell me that, man. What the hell? I should just...
Oh, man. All right, so let's keep up with the Caroline Blue theme. Okay. Who are the members of the band, and how did they all come about? Were they just right there?
Well, there's me.
I
was right there.
Dracula's in the band.
I was in the band.
All right.
The first person that came into the orbit of and joining was actually a keyboard player named Ned Greeno. And turns out where I work, which is a heavily guarded secret,
I know. I'll tell you later.
All three stalkers that are still around are, yeah, stalkers. I actually have had stalking problems, but that was when I was younger and dumber and full of cum and all that stuff, which I'm not anymore. Anyway, he worked there, and we just started talking about music and everything. And initially, it was like, because we've never had a keyboard player before.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I'm not sure. And I'm kind of from the old school in a way where, you remember, like, especially like in the 80s and stuff like that, if a band that was traditionally guitar, bass, drums, vocals, all of a sudden got a keyboard player, or keyboards kind of got into their music, what was the thing you thought of? Oh man, they wussed out. They're commercial. They're all this stuff. Oh, what the hell? So that was kind of in the back of my mind too, in a sense. Not that he was like that, because he's more from like prog rock. Okay, so that's interesting right there. That seems among the young ones, that seems to be a kind of a popular thing. Prog rock, progressive rock. For those who don't know what prog rock means, and probably think by the caption I'm saying frog rock. But we were talking, and there was some interesting stuff that we were thinking about and everything, and then we finally got together, and things just seemed to click. So, and he really wanted to join.
I'm sure he did.
He asked me several times, and I was actually the one that was kind of holding out, because again, I was kind of like, I wanted to make sure that everything could fit well. I didn't want something that just, all of a sudden we're together, we're trying to take a square peg into a round hole, so to speak, because that could happen very easily. And then through Ned, we got our bass player, because her name is Juliana T. Jacobson. No relation to Chris Jacobson, aka Johnny Sniper, who used to be a bass player in the band as well. But she's actually Ned's girlfriend.
Okay.
So that just kind of fell through, and also was a bass player in his solo project, which is under, I believe, his name. And which, by the way, I guess they have a Kickstarter out. And right now, and it's like 21 more days. They're trying to raise $2,000 to finish their album.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that. Ned's like in 5 bands or something like that right now. He's like in a Led Zeppelin tribute band, Caroline Blue, jam blues band, a classic rock cover band called Franklin Mint. So he's a busy boy.
Yeah.
He's basically a full-time musician.
Yep.
He doesn't work like the rest of us.
He doesn't do a 9 to 5.
No, believe me, it would be nice. I've actually been in that position, but as an actor.
Yeah.
I was a full-time actor for 3 years, so it's something that I definitely would like to get back to doing. But the events of the last couple of years doesn't allow me to do that at this time.
Yeah.
And then through my place of employment, also, we had a woman who came in, and it turns out her son plays drums. Yeah, it's like everything kind of just
a sign from heaven.
Yeah, it's like everything just kind of fell into play, and she was telling me about it, and I've always had the biggest problem with finding drummers. Either they're in multiple bands, and that can be a problem in itself. Yeah. Even the best intentioned people, it can be too much, because most bands, I'm usually pretty tolerant about scheduling and stuff like that. But once everyone starts gigging and stuff, that's hard.
Yeah.
Trying to be in more than one band, let alone with Ned, I hope everything, you can get everything working with that stuff. But once everything starts gigging, that's going to be very hard.
Yes.
Because everyone wants to play. And then it's like the old line I used to say with acting. It's like when I became a full-time actor back in 2011, that's when I kind of had to put Caroline Blue kind of down, in part because the lineup broke up.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have much of a choice, in a sense.
Cornelius was calling.
Well, that was the first year, and I'm very proud of that film.
Yeah.
I'm still best known for that.
Yep.
That and Dracula.
Yes.
But the thing was, as a courtesy to the other people that would be in the band, well, number one, I was burnt out, because I've been straight 10 years just going through different lineup changes, and then you get to a certain point, and all of a sudden, and then you got to start all over again. And we were starting to play out of state, as well as throughout the entire state. So that lineup was doing very well. But once that lineup broke up, and it's like having to start all over again, I was just burnt out, and that's one of the reasons why I parlayed into acting. But I was saying, like, it's it wouldn't be fair to the other people of the band to say, hey, look, you guys wait for like 3 or 4 weeks while I'm on set doing this.
Yeah.
they're going to tell me very quickly. Most people would. Some people wouldn't, but most people would tell me in 3-part harmony, like, "Go fuck yourself."
Yes.
Can I say that here?
You can do it. You can do it.
Not like
It's not like last time.
It's not like the last time. I can actually swear. Woo! Which means I won't anymore.
I can't partake.
Yeah.
I get yelled at.
But, yeah, I kind of have a mouth of a sailor, so to speak.
So do I.
Yeah. So that's another reason why I didn't really do anything with music, and it's better to focus on one thing, in my opinion, anyway. And I definitely got further in acting than I did with music.
Yeah.
Just to parlay that a little bit, one of the reasons I'm not acting as much is because I'm compromised from my autoimmune disease, sarcoidosis. So I can't get the vaccine because it's in my autoimmune disease is in my lungs. I get the vaccine, there's a good chance it'll kill me.
Oh, Jesus.
So, and I've already gone through almost dying from COVID late last year, early this year. So I might not be here. You might be talking to my corpse right now. It'd be kind of smelly. You'd have to get a lot of Axe, spray me down. You know,
well, I'm glad you're here, Wayne.
Yeah, I am too. And besides just obviously being still alive.
Yes.
So we did the auditions, and everything just fell into place.
Yeah.
And then we got together, and everything seemed to gel. And again, everyone's like, Juliana is also into the prog rock scene and stuff like that. She hasn't been in too many bands that I recall, and I don't think she's in another band.
Okay.
But she's wonderful in terms of, she picks up stuff real quick.
Awesome.
And everything like that. And she's really she's into like King Crimson and Porcupine Tree and stuff like that. So it's like music, like I'm like, all right, that's awesome.
I can dig that.
Ned's into a lot of that stuff too. And then Jay Woodard is our drummer. And he's like into like Dream Theater and that kind of stuff. And he can play that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was saying how hard it was for me to find drummers because it's so weird because you may or may not know this. Our 2 albums that we have, an EP called Slave to the Hourglass and an LP, which is called Not for the Innocent. The drumming on that was done by Monster Mike Merrifield.
Yes.
And Mike has a tendency to make things a little interesting in the drums to the point where it's like, there's 2 types of drummers traditionally that I've dealt with. Either the guys who are more the meat and potatoes AC/DC type, which is great because they can play songs like Deny and stuff, that's fine. But
Yeah.
they can't play a song like Pain, which has a lot of double bass in it. Or I get the guys who can play Pain, but they're bored with playing stuff like Deny and everything like that, so they throw in all sorts of stuff. I've had that problem actually for quite a while where guys come in and they think, oh, I can just cram notes.
Yeah.
I can do all sorts. It's like, no, there's a structure to it, and pick your spots when it comes to that stuff. If there are spots in the songs. I like having space and stuff like that in songs. Everything doesn't have to be filled up. But if I'm singing, for example, and you start going off, it's like, dude, we're clashing.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
Yep.
So.
Got to lay the WWJ foot down.
Well, yeah, something like that. It's like, I will send you to Jesus, kind of a thing.
I will send you to Jesus.
That's from Stephen He, by the way. Wonderful channel. Him and Uncle Roger. They're awesome. I highly recommend both of them because it's about Asian stereotypes and stuff. I'm part Asian. And I find a lot of the stuff true. And they're comedians and they're just having fun with it and everything. They're not being racist or anything like that, but it's fun. It's fun stuff.
Well, man, I am glad that you guys are back together, and it's going to be a permanent thing. Hopefully, you're out gigging more often than not, and I know.
I hope so too.
I hope so, man. Are you ready to sweat all over again, because that's a sweaty job?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just with Jay, he's also in a band called Informal.
Okay.
Which is more of an instrumental, kind of a progressive kind of band as well. So again, the prog is definitely going to be creeping into Caroline Blue.
These are possible future interviews for me. I might.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I'll let them know. Yeah. Awesome. Because, that's the thing with. Well, first of all, Informal. I guess they just changed their name, and if you're looking for them, it's Informal with a reverse E. Okay. So it's kind of hard to type that in, but it's but they're on Spotify and stuff. Ned's stuff's on Spotify. Obviously, Caroline Blue stuff is on Spotify. But yeah, it's like I definitely would love to have you know, the other guys do stuff. It doesn't always have to be me,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, in part, I do know pretty much what's going on, so, you know, it would kind of suck if you talked with one of the other members and they said, I don't know, talk to Wayne. You know,
He's hard to get here.
Yeah, it can be. But yeah, I'll definitely let them know. And,
Please do, man.
you know, hopefully they'll be watching this. And
Chillin' ain't going
maybe
anywhere.
they'll be like, oh, we've had enough of you, Wayne. We see you enough at rehearsals. We don't need them.
That's what I wanted to talk about now. How often are you guys rehearsing?
At the
And
moment,
do you have my favorite song down?
what's your favorite song?
You know what my favorite song is.
Beth?
I've Seen the Light Tonight.
Ingve?
Caroline
I'll
Wolf.
see the light tonight. No. Okay.
Why you gotta be you?
Why do I got to be me? Well, it started when I was hatched, and
You were born in the log cabin.
yeah, I got dropped when I was a little baby, and that explains a lot.
Yes.
Right there. But rehearsals right now are kind of sparse, actually, a little bit, only because everyone's in multiple bands except for Juliana.
That makes
and
sense.
I might actually be doing a cover band on top of what I'm doing as well. I'm already talking with guys. We're already talking about set lists. It's just a pure cover band.
Wow.
It's more just to get out there and play, make some money, and in my mind, hopefully, a way to get Caroline Blue more gigs.
Yes.
Because they could open. But a lot of bands these days, they don't really have openers around here. They just do their own thing for whatever reason. It's not like back in the day. But, and it's really hard with, you know, Caroline Blue, we go sometimes from an all original perspective, then into original cover, or sometimes heavy cover, some original. We never abandon the originals, but sometimes the covers get more emphasis, and it kind of goes back and forth. And depending on where we're playing, sometimes, you know, the only way we can get in is playing cover tunes.
Yep.
You know, and I understand that. I understand the business. I understand that. And original music is very hard. There's not as many venues that cater to it like back in the day.
Yep.
So, you know, you have to play the game.
My
until
show
you
has
get the
called
leverage.
some heat over that before. Genesee Joe was on my show saying,
Oh, yeah?
if you wanted people to participate, you got to do a cover band. That caused a lot of heat.
Well, I see that to a degree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more like, you know, a lot of musicians don't understand that you're a business.
Yeah.
You know, even if you're, you know, you got the guys who are just partying, trying to get laid, all that stuff. Then you got the musicians who are like, you know, it should be just about the music.
Yeah.
You know, you just stand there and you just play your stuff, and it should be the music that moves people and stuff like that. And that's all fine and great. But playing around in, at least, I'm just talking about CNY. Now, it's probably the same everywhere else, but since I haven't been to everywhere else, I can't speak for that, but I can speak for CNY to a degree. I mean, because I don't need, outside of crowds wanting to be entertained and wanting to, you know, kind of, you know, drink beer and stuff like that.
We don't partake.
Yeah, no, we don't. You know, I don't know necessarily what the audience wants.
Yeah.
You know, because they could be there. You could have people who are more music oriented. Like if you play up in a college, you're going to get more people who are more music oriented.
Yeah.
You play in a typical bar around here, it's mostly people, I would say, is just want to forget their crappy day.
I get it.
They want to just relax, unwind. They want to hear tunes that they know. It's background music. A lot of musicians hate that.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be like, oh man, you're just background music. Well, that's kind of what you are. You're basically a living jukebox.
You are.
In a lot of ways, especially if you're doing covers, but even originals. I mean, and again, it's not like it used to be, and sometimes it's very hard for people to understand that. It's not like, you know, it used to be, wow, new material. Even from national bands, okay, you know, they come out there with new music and everyone's into it. Now it's like, okay, you know, it's like they play their new music and people sit down, or they use it as a bathroom break.
Yep.
The nostalgia stuff and the legacy stuff is like huge now.
Yep.
You know, and that's true with the big bands too, not just local bands and stuff like that. So,
From what I understand, as far as getting a gig goes, you get paid to set up, you get paid to tear down. The music part's easy. That's what I got.
It should be. It should be. If you guys do your homework and stuff like that, yeah, it should be. And having said that, I'm just going to say sometimes I've been a hired gun. I've been musician-wise, not carrying guns anywhere, and you know, and being security or something. You know, and I've been in those situations where I was hired to play a gig, and like I've had to learn like 3 sets of material in a week.
Yeah.
I've had to change songs in the middle, you know, like right in the middle of playing. I remember my first gig, I don't remember the guy's name. I think his name was Josh something. He was 10 years old at the time. It was a backyard gig.
Yep.
We were playing this song. I was playing bass, and we did this song that is in the key of G. Okay, but we're playing it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Something's off. And it was me, because no one told me he transposed it to E. So when I figured this out like halfway through the gig, and the song, and I'm like, okay, now I got to transpose. Luckily, it's bass, so it's a lot easier to do that. You can do walking bass lines and stuff, but I got through the song. But those things happen, man. Sometimes things you could have a situation where you have like a set list and you're doing stuff, and people, if they know, like let's say we used to play up in Ogdensburg, at a place called Bone Shakers, and in a lot of ways, not always, we were kind of, the way we were treated up there and stuff, it was almost like we were 3 Inch Fury here. I mean, we played, we didn't do as many headlining gigs as like more often than not we were opening, but it went over well, originals and covers, and it's just, I mean, we would be put up, we would get paid very well, food, board, everything. It was really nice, and the people were really into it and stuff like that. And I forgot where I was going with that.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. So.
That's where you make a joke out of it.
Yeah, I'll come back to it at some point, but it was. Oh, I remember what it was. It's like, I remember getting into a discussion with one of my band members at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, we need to get some Iron Maiden into the set list." I love Iron Maiden, not as much as Kiss. They're quite distant actually in that, but I really do appreciate a lot of Iron Maiden stuff like that. But I was just like, that crowd that's up there, they're more into modern rock and stuff, and we're we would do like up there at the time, like if you do Enter Sandman, the floor just floods. Everyone comes out there, and so you do Man in the Box, everyone comes flooding out there. That's by Enter Sandman is by Metallica, Man in the Box is by Alice in Chains. There's other songs that are just like that. Okay, I think at the time, I don't know about like now, Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry was a song around here that used to get everybody on the floor. There's a lot of different songs, but there's also a lot of songs that don't. Yeah. That'll clear a floor. And and unfortunately, the one he picked, and I can't remember which one. It was a slower one. Hallowed Be Thy Name. Great tune. It's great, but I'm like, dude, in this day and age here, it's going to clear the floor. Yeah. And it got to the point where I said, dude, I'll make a bet with you. Okay, we'll take that song and pit it, but we'll learn this song, okay, first. And it was a song he hated. Yeah. It was, it's only like 4 notes, and I can't remember the name of the band right now. It's a modern rock song. It's oh damn it, I'll remember it at some point. Yeah. But it has fuck in it.
That's all that matters.
And it's that one song that Slap Me. Not that one, but it's another song. It's the way you make you move, the way you shake your ass, do the things you do. I am in control of you. It's the same band. All right. But it's
who is that, guys?
Yeah, you tell me, because and then say, Wayne, you're so messed up. You can't remember that song. Well, I didn't want to play it, okay, but I knew the crowd would love it, and I said, dude, I'll bet you we'll get a bunch of people on the floor. He goes, no way, that song sucks. And I'm like, okay. If nobody comes to the floor when we play this song, then we'll do the Iron Maiden tune. Yeah. But if they do, then we're going to drop it, because they want modern rock. They don't want, and it's the way the crowds were, okay, at the time. And we did that song, and people came right on the floor, and I looked at him, and he just had his head down. He played the song, he just had his head down, like he couldn't believe it. And I'm like, dude, I'm not lying to you. I used to go out and see bands like One Hard Crank, 3 Inch Fury. A lot of times it was for me promoting Caroline Blues, so I was doing all that. But I was also paying attention to what they were playing, and what was working, and more importantly, what wasn't working. I actually just ran into Jake from One Hard Crank not too long ago. We had an interesting discussion in a Walmart about songs and what was working and what wasn't working. Because they had a great formula. And they still do. I mean, it's what they would do is they would listen to K-Rock. You know, at the time, a lot of kids were listening to it and stuff, and they would learn the songs right away, and they would play them as soon as they came out. And I was like, you know, it was great. There was the whole philosophy. Mike could tell you all about it, like how every day there's somebody turning 21.
Yeah.
You know, but these days it doesn't seem like they're as interested in music as they used to be. And so they were doing that. Now, you know, there's exceptions to everything, unless it's a universal law. If you want, I can get into that, but I know we got time. Instead of me sprouting about philosophy, who wants to hear that? But, you know, I was surprised at some of the songs they said that they would do, and it was just nothing, no response, and they would drop them because there was no response. Yeah. I kind of admire that. It's like if a song's not working, just get rid of it and keep going. You know? Instead of just pounding it in, the old way of, you know, hooking them people and stuff like that. If it's not working, it's not working.
Yeah.
You can try it a few different times. People may disagree with me about this, but if you try it a few times and it's just getting no reaction, you're only playing it because somebody in the band wants to do it, just jettison the song for right now. Because especially if you're a cover band, because you got to keep people, it's a business. You got to keep people on the floor. You get them sweaty, so they go buy drinks, keep their moods up and stuff like that. It's not that hard.
No.
In terms of the concept of the business stuff. It's hard to find the songs that do that aren't already being done by every other band. Yeah. You know, because then you run into the problem that Caroline Blue ran into, whereas back in the day, when we were in Syracuse, we would play a lot of the same songs that One Hard Crank, 3-Inch Fury, Under the Gun, all that stuff, but they already had those bands here. Yeah. There were events. They were in the top booking agency around here and stuff like that. So why would all their friends were at those shows. Why would you come to Caroline Blue to hear those same songs when you can hear them with all your friends? Yep. You know, it's really not that hard to, you know, you got to kind of carve your own niche, but you don't want to put all these obscure cover songs per se, unless you're an original band. Then you can kind of get away with that because you're focusing on your original stuff. So, you know, if you want cover songs, okay, we'll give you cover songs. Yeah. Okay, and it's like, what the hell is that? It's a cover song. It's part of your influences too, so you got to be true to that. Yeah. But, you know, I'm sure there's people that will say, oh, you're selling out, you know, oh my, and it's like, well.
They said that when you turned the bass.
As soon as you're making money, oh yeah, yeah. One of my best friends told me that, and it was just like, he got right into me and was like going, dude, you're a guitar player, you're not a bass player, what the hell? Yeah. And when I joined Four Large Men, and it was just like, and it shocked me. It was an early lesson, you know. And I'm glad I did turn into bass, because now it's like when I do my own stuff, I know what a bass player, for the most part, okay, would put in there instead of just playing low end rhythm guitar. Yep. You know, so hopefully, going back to the original question here, you know, eventually once this show is behind us, you know, the rehearsal should pick up. Depending on a couple of things. Yeah. And there should be more shows and stuff. Right now, it's more like getting through this show, and then we'll see what happens.
It's been a minute, other than guest appearances. Yeah. Like you at Nothing Fancy, to do the tribute to Jerry. It's been like 10 years since you've had Caroline Blue up and going, right? 10 years?
The last show we did was back in May of 2013. Yeah. You know, and that was a different lineup. One of the guys, his name is Mark Amasano, he is actually potentially the drummer that's going to be in the cover band. Cool. And Azriel Mordecai would be the bass player.
Oh, I like that.
Who was also there. That was a lineup of Caroline Blue for a little while. Yeah. You know, it was more of a temporary type of thing, I think. I'd have to go back to my own like journals or something like that to be sure, because there's been so many people that have gone through the band. Yeah. And a little tagline here, I want to just tell everyone that's been in the band, current or past, you know, thank you very much for everything that you've done for Caroline Blue. It is deeply appreciated. You've all helped move Caroline Blue forward. Some of you have helped move it back, you know, but it's, you know, it is what it is. It's, you know.
Chillin's out of this one.
No, that'll all be in the book.
Wayne the book.
Wayne the book.
I'm getting flashbacks of the original interview here.
Yeah, I do have taglines. I do sometimes say things. It's so weird, because some people will say, like, you know, with celebrities and stuff, not that I'm saying I'm a celebrity, but like, oh man, they keep saying the same lines. It's like, well, you know, after a while, you know, you get the same, if the same things pop up, you know. Yeah. And not everybody you know, there's hardcore people who like watch every interview and stuff, but not everybody does. So it might be the first time somebody's hearing me saying that, even though I've been saying that line for years.
I've got fans who watch every episode of this.
That's awesome.
That is cool, man.
That is cool.
And I don't have a notebook full of questions this time. I'm more relaxed. I'm chilled.
You're making it up as you go along.
I am. It's a conversation. It's a conversation, man. I'm doing good.
I'm sweating. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Are you ready for all this to come back, Wayne? Because it's been a minute. This is like a big commitment, man.
You mean band-wise and stuff?
Music-wise, getting back on stage and stuff, because...
I've never stopped playing, in a sense. I mean, I did get burned out, like I said earlier, and there was actually a couple of years where I didn't touch the instrument at all.
I was going to ask that. Like, how long has it been since you picked up a bass?
Oh, I still practice bass. And
okay,
stuff
good.
like that. Well, the reason I do that is because, I don't know if you know, there was a project a couple of years ago with Roy Costin, where we were with, I'm so bad with names. It was Ronnie Monroe?
Ronnie Monroe, yep.
Ronnie Monroe. I'm so sorry, Ronnie. I mean, if you're listening to this. I mean, like I said, I'm just bad with names. I'm horrible with names, and it's getting worse as I get older. But
Roy has a boner for that guy.
Yeah, it was me, Ronnie, Roy, and Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, we were going to do a project, and we started recording in the studio and doing, you know, it was going to be a cover album, I guess, and we did that, but everything fell through on that, unfortunately. So, and then there was talk of possibly a gig, you know, next time Ronnie was in the area or something, and he might do something. And so I was working on that. But even before that, you had the tributes to Jerry Ehrman and the past lineups of Four Large Men and stuff. And I always try to be prepared. I can pick up songs normally pretty quick because of my experience with the hired gun stuff. Like I said, I had to learn 3 sets of material in a week.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that type of band, there was a music stand. I could see the chord changes and stuff. And I'm playing bass, so it's a little easier in a sense because I could just, if I'm just rooting it.
You're plucking every 5 minutes, like, oh, I wonder what's for dinner tonight.
You know, plus I'm, you know, some bass players are going to hate me for this. I use a pick. You know, but I can play with the fingers, but not as well as with the pick. So it's like, might as well use the pick anyway because I like the attack. I'm one of those people that like to feel and hear the bass.
Yeah.
Just feeling the bass is, you know, go feel this. You know, it's like, okay, that it's got its place and stuff depending on the music and stuff, but I like to be heard too.
Yeah.
So I've always kept up with that, except for that 2 or 3 year period with where I just totally devoted myself to acting. Unfortunately, right now with acting, because I have sarcoidosis and I'm compromised, a lot of the sets, whether it's local or even higher up, require you to have a vaccine, have a booster, all that stuff. They won't let you on a set otherwise.
Gotcha.
So that's a big block for me right now.
Okay.
And the people that I normally work with, otherwise, for the most part, either they're not doing anything or they're using other people, you know, which is fine. There's opportunities everywhere. You know, I used to be one of those people like, oh, I got to get on this opportunity or else. And yeah, that's good. I mean, obviously that worked with getting this lineup of Caroline Blue and everything like that, but realize also there's always opportunities out there. Yeah. Especially when it comes to gigs, acting gigs especially. You know, it's like if you don't have an audition, it's not like, oh, I'll never get another audition again. You just have to know where to look. Okay, and the same with bands. Is, you know, there was already a couple of different people I kind of had my mind on, you know, if that happened, or if I needed them for a music video, but I don't necessarily need to even use musicians for a music video. Yeah.
I want to be in a musician video. Come on. Let me in one of your music videos.
Can we make you like a victim?
Sure.
Can I say that word?
Because I know you're hard, and it's usually pretty gruel. Gruel. I hate you sometimes.
That was awkward.
That was awkward. You know, you just got to be you. I understand.
Yeah, but you had to point that out.
Some of your videos, the creepy ones, man, they're creepy. Some
creepy?
of them. Yeah, creepy.
Caroline Blue?
Yeah.
Me? Creepy?
I think you had eyes in and you were stalking some girl in one, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, wait till you see some stuff that I've got in mind. But there's The next album, I'll say this, is it's something that most of it is already written and stuff, even before the lineup came into play and stuff like that. It was all written, because the last album was 2007.
Yeah.
So I've already got most of it there, and it was more of a sexual album, which is probably out of date, and it'll probably get me burned. But I like to get everything out there.
Yeah.
Because after that becomes my more like depression and hard times and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm not one of those people that's like, I got this song, it's done, everything's there, I'm just gonna, I can write another one. Yeah. I'm not like that. If I start writing a song, I want to finish it, I want to see it through. Yeah. If it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it doesn't even mean that it has to fail, like in terms of public acceptance or something. It could do nothing, but it's complete. It's recorded. That to me right there is success. Yes. Because it was an idea in my head, and it came through, and now it's tangible. People can hear it. Whether it's just solely me or I'm working with other people, it's now a completed song that people can listen to. And it was originally just something that was in the ether, so to speak. So that to me is enough for a success, and everything else is just icing on the cake, so to speak. So if it if it does well with people, that's great. If it doesn't and it's just dead, it's still an accomplishment. And you try to do the best you can with everything you do. Yep. So, but going back to your question there, it is a little bit of a concern, because the last time I was on stage, it was at the tribute for Jerry Ehrman, the last one. We played at Nothing Fancy. A couple of things happened. One, everyone got to like kind of pick a cover song or Four Large Men song to do. And the one I picked was Parasite by Kiss, okay? And it was supposed to be the third song played in. Now, when I get on stage traditionally, even if I'm out of shape, I kind of go into autopilot. What that means is I kind of start moving around, I twerk. No.
That's my way of attempting to be.
There is a video out there, and I'll put it up there at some point, where you want to talk about twerking. There, I'm like, my ass is going, it's like, it's in the background. I'm wearing spandex, but anyway. But we got to that song, that slot, and the thing was, earlier, Roy came up to me like about, I think a couple hours before the show. He goes, "Oh, we're going to add Stranglehold by Ted Nugent." I'm like, dude, I had asked you before if we were doing this song, and I didn't get a response. So I know people are busy, by the way, just off on that. But man, I mean, and I know Roy didn't mean this, okay, and everything like that. But man, in general, I hate ghosting. I hate when you fucking ask people questions and it's like they just don't bother. Like, you're not even worth the time. And I know people are busy and stuff like that, but I hate nagging. So after once, twice, if I don't hear anything, I'm just going to go forward. Yep. Maybe 3 times, depending, because I'm just like, dude, I'm waiting for your answer, so I can move forward with something else. Yep. And then they just don't reply, and it's just like, anyway, that's my rant for the day. So I'm like, and he's like, just chug on A, like it was Lick It Up by Kiss, and I'm like, I know there's more to it than that. I think isn't there a little solo spot, like kind of short, so I actually went into the car, got on the phone, brought up Stranglehold, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, yeah, not just A. But it wasn't that hard. I mean, you could get away with just doing the A, but I did a little bit more than that. Well, we got through the song, but he put it in right where Parasite was supposed to be. And I was so glad he did, because after being on autopilot and stuff, I was sucking wind so bad. Wind. I know you people out there, you're gonna edit my words here and you're gonna say sucking. No. Okay.
Not on my show.
No. But I can't believe I said that. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? And the problem is sarcoidosis hits you in your lungs, and one of the wonderful gifts it gives is shortness of breath, kind of like COVID. So and I usually keep myself fit, even when I kind of let myself go for a couple of years and stuff like that. Actually, more than a couple of years.
When he was crashing through walls on sets.
Well, that was different. That's a different kind of letting go. But
that's one of my favorite videos, by the way.
Me crashing through the. Supposedly Johnny Z is done. That's the movie that was in. I have no idea. Nobody tells me. really anything unless I reach out, and
Yeah.
you know, it's just it. Sometimes it's kind of like you reach out and it's like there's no response, or you get one response and you ask a question and there's nothing, and it's just like, and I'm
You're
not just
cleaning
saying in
your
general with that.
elbows
I'm saying in general with, you know, whether it's musicians or producers or whatever, you know, it just happens uniformly.
Yeah.
That's a big word, like gymnasium.
Normal. Yeah. 5 syllable.
It's a Gene Simmons thing I ripped off there with the gymnasium.
But Wayne did send me this video of him trying to attempt to crash through the wall. I'm assuming you made it eventually, but he's ripping his elbows up and he's cleaning himself.
No, actually, the only to put that into contents, what happened was I'm fighting this martial art master. Actually, his name is Felix, and I can't remember your last name. I'm so sorry, Felix. He's so awesome though. We spent over an hour rehearsing the fight scene and stuff, and one of the things was I come charging at him with both my fists, and he just ducks out of the way.
Oh.
But I still hit the wall.
Yeah.
So we did all that stuff, and I said, well, do you want me to just, you know, without him there, just go full force into the wall? You know, and he goes, well, you don't really have to. I go, yeah, let me do it, because it's going to make it better. Hopefully it makes the cut. So I did that, and there was a guy taping off to the side with his phone, and he did it in slow motion. You know. If you want to see it, you can see it on WayneWJohnson.com. You can see it on YouTube channel, WWJ Official. And it's funny, and then afterwards, for whatever reason possessed me, I decided afterwards, I'm doing a behind the scenes type of thing, and I'm like, well, let's put some rubbing alcohol on those things. Don't do that at home, kids.
Yeah.
It does not feel good. Because the guy that was doing the makeup, he says, I ain't touching you. And I'm like, okay.
You got the COVID before it even was.
Yeah, he's probably thinking else, probably thinking of luggage, so to speak.
But anyway, I knocked you off track on that.
Yeah.
I apologize.
It's going to be interesting. I've been rehearsing it. I've been, you know, because when I got COVID, actually, I lost. Well, when I first had my operation, there was a biopsy. You can see there's a little scar right here, tapping on the thing here. So I'm probably getting. You know, I lost my high range and most of my mid range. Went to see a Kiss show that night though. And it took me a while to work that back, and then, you know, doing stuff, and now coming back. And initially, when I was looking for shows, I was looking for an opener, like something we could play for like 40 minutes, not 90 minutes. Yeah. You know, but you know, that was Big Steve. You know, he's like, oh, we're gonna put you there, and I'm like, okay. And
you're working with my buddy Scott DeCann, who's the lead singer.
Yes.
As if. Scotty's a cool dude. You're gonna like him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the band. They do primarily 90s.
Shout out to Scotty D. What's up, brother?
Hey.
Me and Scott went to kindergarten together.
You
Kindergarten
did?
through third. Neither one of us remember. But
You guys were doing drugs back then?
Yes. Hardcore.
Hardcore.
Yep.
That baby
We're
formula.
on high C.
I tell you, that baby formula, that's why it's missing now.
You're going to have a good time hanging out with them, though.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep.
You know, the whole show in general and stuff, and getting back up there and everything. And I think what's gonna happen is, like, maybe the first couple of songs, there might be a little bit of nerves. Usually I don't have problems with nerves because I've been doing it so long. And but once things go, you know, it's just like going back to autopilot and stuff. And you know, as long as me and the guys in the band, we do our homework, everything should be fine.
Yeah.
You know,
are you approachable before a show, or do you like to have your? Because I'm going to get there a little bit before you guys.
To a degree. Here's something that you are going to find out for the first time probably. Here is, you know, you of course know DR.
Yep.
DR
My
writer,
finale.
Daryl. He is actually going to be filming the show.
Really?
Yes, he's going to be there. That doesn't mean you have to moon the camera, okay?
You took the surprise away.
Moon the other way and do a salami special.
You don't want to see all of me, Wayne?
I have a feeling you're going to do that regardless of whether, you know, it's like going to be like, you're going to get up on stage and just do that, and it'll be like, not during a certain song, if we play it. Aha, I got you there.
You're going to make me wait till last.
We're going to make sure Rick stays here, and then it's like, then Steve will like, you guys got to get off stage.
That's what Roy used to do. He knows I love Round and Round by Rat. He goes, we're going to make him wait till last. Because he used to play it first or second. And I used to take off right after.
Well, now that I know that, guys, in my band, we're going to do a little set list change.
Yep.
Okay. No, it's going to be an interesting set because we are going to be doing some covers.
Yeah.
Some popular covers, some covers that may be new to Central New York audiences, at least in general. Like I'm presuming it's going to be a little older, but I don't know. Again, I can't predict what the audience is going to, what it's going to be, and what they're going to expect. In terms of being approachable, up to a point.
Because I want to hang out with you before the show a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Just a little bit.
You know, if we have enough power sources and stuff, I'd like to be doing, like, with DR, if it's okay, you know, even like behind the scenes stuff and everything, you know, that would be awesome because I love that stuff. I love
Me too.
Stuff behind the scenes and everything, and you see stuff and what's happening and all the stupid stuff that happens, and,
That's why
and sometimes the not so stupid stuff.
I'm a big fan of when you posted behind the scenes of the film you're making. The Wolfman, and you know, there's the camera.
Dracula, Tales of Dracula.
We're going to talk about that in a minute, but I want you to keep going with what you're doing.
But you know, hopefully we'll have time, the power to do that because he's using my equipment for that.
Yeah.
And of course it'll all be posted and everything like that. But I try not to do too much because then I start talking too much, and then it's like, you know, then you get on stage and it's like, you know, and I've got 90 minutes on stage to go. So I will to a point. And if anybody does approach me, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to security.
That was perfect. Thank you, cop. OPD, you rock. That'll get drowned out. Don't worry about it.
It's okay. It's all right. It's not a problem. Damn it, I knew I shouldn't have went to Taco Bell and then taken a dump in the nice and easy over here. I knew it. I shouldn't have done that. It's just now exploding there. Oh, man. Jesus Christ.
This isn't good, Wayne.
That's okay. That's okay. This is, you know, I actually, in an older band I used to be in, we had sirens and all that stuff and everything. We had some interesting effects that some of them worked and some of them didn't. But yeah, I mean, I definitely am somebody, you know, even on my worst day, I'm so appreciative of anybody who would be interested in anything that I do, the band does. I really do not take that for granted. If somebody wants to talk to me, if anybody wants to pose for a picture, even if I look like shit.
We're getting a selfie today, even sweating.
Yeah, that's like right now. I mean, I look like shit right now because of the COVID and the hair and everything like that. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't take it for granted because you know, I still have very vivid memories of when you know, it was nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and I wished I could be up there and doing stuff like this and being on stage and being in front of on a movie set. I still remember all that, and you know, it's just that somebody would come up and ask for an autograph or want like a photo or a hug. Yeah. Sometimes more than a hug. Sometimes it's not. Well, it could be either or. This is the 21st century now, so you can, you know.
The aerobic activity.
Yeah, aerobics, definitely. You remember that saying there. I see that. But yeah, yeah, you can, but I might cut it short. Yeah. At some point.
I'm just gonna say, hey man, I'm here, and I'll by
You're
that.
You're gonna be a roadie.
Yeah. By that point, Daryl's my finale.
Bring me my amp. Bring me my water. Bring me my bucket so I can poo.
I'll be wrapped for the season, 5 days out. Daryl's my finale on the 19th. You're the 24th. I'm going to be itching for something to do. I'll take video for you or whatever not.
If you want to come and take extra
and
video.
And it's cool that Daryl's going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually, here's something else that's something that I last year, actually 2 years in a row now, we've been trying to do a music video for the song My Fingers. Okay, it's a brand new song. Hopefully, the plan is to debut it online before the show.
And I will share the shit out of that.
And we're going to be performing the song at the show. However, the thing is, that version was done back in 2018, and it was basically me, the producer, Emmett Van Syke, and basically a drum machine. Mm-hmm. And he's took more of a pop approach in a sense with the drums. So it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it and stuff like that. But most drummers would be like, oh, you're using a machine, aren't you? I've already had that happen a couple of times with people who have heard it. But, you know, this version of the band, like, annihilates what that version is. And that's what's going to be played. And it's, so it's called My Fingers. It's going to be the, I always get this kind of mess, because I made it up not too long ago. It's going to be, you know, with Stay, there was like the Paid the Electric Bill mix, so there's 2 different versions of that. There's probably going to be a 3rd version on this show, because we've got Ned on there, and he does this wonderful intro. He actually replaces all the acoustic guitars in the song, so it's really, really sweet.
Yeah.
It's the TFP mix, the terminal finger probing mix. Okay, it's a lot heavier. The drums are, I mean, Jay is just, you know, he's going to annihilate it. Everyone, Juliana, Ned, and it's going to be awesome. And, you know, while we might even be putting that into the music video. But in the meantime, there's stuff that would be shot outdoors. That's the plan. But there's stuff that's indoors, and that's in motion right now, and DR is in that.
Can I be in this video, Wayne? I'll play a victim. I'll be dead somewhere. I've always wanted to do something like that.
That's a possibility. If I will contact you later, because there is a role that's still kind of open. It's something that it's not essential. It might get cut. Of course, if you're in there, I won't cut you. But it's a real quick scene.
Okay.
But it's there's something there, and actually, yeah, there's a couple things. Yeah, so I'll definitely talk to you after you're done wrapping up here and stuff like that. If you want to, yeah, that would be great, because then I would just need to find one other person, female, for you to interact with.
Yep.
Nothing like that. You know, it's kind of like a short horror film, actually.
Really?
In a lot of ways. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's more of a short horror film with some music thrown in.
I'm actually not surprised with you.
Yeah. Well, I kind of got overboard when it came to the script, because I started doing it, and I'm just like, okay, and I have written some scripts in the past and stuff like that, and I get really into it and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff. But again, another opportunity. You know, I was talking with somebody who was doing cinematography, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even think. It was the guy from his nickname is Movie Mike.
Okay.
Movie Mike, Michael Rudolph, and you know, he does the cinematography for Tales of Dracula too. And I'm there doing the filming. I'm like, I didn't even think. Yeah. You know, and you're not too far away. So what's your rates? What's the thing? And we started talking. So we've got some filming that's going to be coming up as well.
Awesome.
So you know, again, and it's going to make me a busy boy. Yeah. Because, you know, but that's also me kind of scratching that acting itch, because I'm, of course,
an actor.
Yeah, I'm the lead guy. And all my exes are going to love what happens to me in this video.
Oh.
They're going to love it.
Oh. Sounds like I'm not going to be the only one dying.
No. Well, you kind of like what happens to the DR.
Oh. You're going to gore him up, aren't you?
No. The person, if there's any gore or anything, it'll be on me. Okay. If there's anything like that, because I'm the one who has the most experience with having the makeup on and having to deal with it and stuff. Because if you don't, you know, it all sounds like fun when you got all that.
I'm excited right now just talking about it.
Yeah, it's all this. It's all this stuff, but you know, we also have to be really careful because of the location. It's a beautiful location. It's Hillcrest, Jebsen Estates over in. I always get this mixed up. Either it's Camillus or Canastota. Canastota
is like 7-8 miles away.
Yeah, it's not too far away, but it's this wonderful house. It's like an old Victorian kind of estate house. It's beautiful.
All right.
But there's no. I'm going to sweat my ass off. There's no air conditioning in there. We're going to actually try to have a room that's going to have like a separate, like a cooling off ready room. And so I'm going to try to do everything by the books and by the numbers, because that's my goal with everything I try to do. I try to do what the pros do. That's how I've kind of gotten so far where I have with music and acting. Now, granted, I don't know everything, you know, I'm open to suggestions and stuff like that. But
you just have a vision in your head, and you're just trying your best to make it real.
It's just like I was saying before with the song. It's the same thing with film. It's with anything. It's like you have a vision in your head. It could be writing a book, Wayne the Book.
Yeah.
You know,
Wayne the Book.
Well, it's actually, you know, when I first started saying Wayne the Book, it was pretty much a joke, you know, just a tagline like my ego, you know, Wayne the Book. You know,
And I suggested humble beginnings.
Well,
And
the thing was, it's basically, I'm a big ABBA fan, and in the '70s you had ABBA the movie, ABBA the musical, ABBA this, ABBA that, so it was like Wayne the Book,
Yes.
But as time went on, I started thinking about it a little more, and especially after my parents passed away, it's more in part like a way to remember them. All of us, we all have a short time here on the planet in our lives and stuff, and more often than not, it's just, we're here, we do our thing, we're gone, unless we're lucky enough to get a type of celebrity where we can be remembered for a longer period of time. It's almost like you never existed. And I know that's a little nihilistic, but it's just a fact. It's the way, because there's so many people and everything. Yeah. And I can only do so many things. I mean, I do journals, I do video journals. I've been doing regular journals since 1984. I've been doing, nobody really knows about this, so, because online there's like a side of me that I'm very public, but there's also a side of me that's very private. That I don't put, there's only one picture of my mom and my dad, and that was when they passed away, because I was extremely protective, because there are a lot of freaks out there, and there's a reason for that, which will be in the book. But
can't wait to buy said book.
Yeah, I hope so too. But the whole thing with that is, one of the things is like, well, you're not that high of a celebrity. You had some fame, with Night of Something Strange and Dracula and stuff, like around 2016 to 2018 and stuff. But that time's passed, and that's true with anything. It ebbs and flows unless you continuously work. COVID threw a wrench into everything.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to get back up on both areas, and maybe writing on top of it. So one of the things was like, well, you write it, and it's like, well, it's not really going to sell. But then again, I'm coming more and more into the line of, like I said with the song, just getting it done for myself.
Yeah.
That's right there enough. And if people buy it, that's great. I'm sure I'll be torn apart, because you gotta give some of the juice and some of the meat that happens in there. And all I say, I'm going to say it right now on record, and I'll say it in the preface, I'll say it anything else, if I really do go forward with Wayne the Book. Anything that's in there, or anything you read online or anything like that, it's all based on the time that the thing was written. So if I write, for example, let's just say, and this is not true, but let's say 3 years ago I did that interview with you, the first one, and I write in my journals like, oh my God, this guy what the fuck is this guy? He doesn't know what he's doing. He's like this. It's not going to last. Let's say I do that. No, but the thing is, if I write that and somebody reads that, they'll take it and put it into today.
Yeah. Yep.
Likewise, if I'm like saying, no, this is, back then, if I'm like, this is so wonderful, this is great, and then I write, like tonight, I'm sitting there writing there going, Jesus Christ, dude, the guy was fucking talking about mooning and all this shit, and what the fuck, I'm not going to do this every day. It's all context, of things. Everything is context, but most people don't even think about that, you know. So it's like they'll think, if you say something in the past, it means you're forever, you're not allowed to change your mind. Yeah. And I'm willing to change my mind on a lot of things, and I have. Yep. That's part of life. You learn things. You do something, and then if it's not working, and you learn something that's better. Absorb what is useful. Disregard what isn't. That's a Bruce Lee philosophy. Yeah. So
there you go.
So hopefully I'll go back all the way to that question. I hope I have I'm pretty sure I will have the wind. I'm not going to move around as much. Because there's going to be a pedal board in front of me now. Okay. I've kind of gotten more into that, if I can get the damn thing to work. Because I have to have so many freaking pedals, of course, for all sorts of things. And it's like, and right now, at the moment, it's not working. Uh-oh. So I'm just kind of like, what the fuck went wrong now? Now I got to go through everything, and like, I need that. Yeah. Oh, woe is me. But yeah, so just having that right there is going to chain me down more. Having to be in front of the mic on top of that. But I'm used to that. For a while, I had a headless mic. That didn't come out good. I had no head. It's like a microphone there, but no head. A wireless mic. It's good. I would like to do it, but back in the day, a lot of sound guys just didn't seem to like that. They were always, and that was a problem. Yep. So I don't know if that's still a problem now. Let me know, and let Rick know in the comments with this. Is that still a problem locally? Because I would love to use that. It's great being unchained from the mic stand. Yes. The only thing that sucks is it's hard sometimes to, depending on the size of the stage, because of the monitors. If you get too close, there's a show up there where I get close to those monitors, they feed back like that, and it's just like, oh, you know.
By the way, there are 2 places in Oneida. I can potentially get you gigs at both. They go by my suggestion.
Nice.
So
Nice.
keep in good graces with me,
as
Wayne.
DR would say, nice.
Keep in good graces with Chillin.
Thank you. Yeah. So you want me to write something good about that? Okay, I will. And yeah,
You got nothing bad to write about me. We're having a conversation.
Well, the journal, the reason I started journals was I had so much going on in my head. I'm an only child. I didn't really have a lot of people to talk to and stuff. So I just needed to unload it all somewhere.
Yes.
And that was the easiest way for me to do it. It's like a therapy in a way. Yeah. And I've been doing it, like I said, 84 since written 92, I think, videos, and I've got multiple copies all over the place. So that's a little time consuming, but it's kind of wild. Yeah. I mean, because it's probably the closest I'll ever come to time travel. Yeah. You know, when you see yourself like from like 93, and it's like, first of all, wow, look at that hair. That was awesome. And I was so thin. And look at that. And I was so stupid. You know? And
he would fall off.
Right now somebody's going, you still are, Wayne.
And he would fall off bars, and Roy Costin would put his foot on his chest.
Yeah. There's only, as weird as it sounds, there's only one video that I know of so far from Four Large Men where I'm running on a bar. It's so weird with all the videotapes I have and stuff. There's only one that I've seen, and it's not even the best one. Like somebody's holding it, and it's all over the place. And
I still want to see that.
I will. I'm going to upload that at some point. I'm really going to try hard. There's so much stuff. There's so much fun stuff. I mean, there's stuff like when I used to work at Kmart. So picture like this big guy with a big freaking like curly hair, like permed hair, like on checkouts.
I've seen that picture.
You know. Oh, there's some that I'm wearing a white sweater, so I look like twice my size, and it's just like, holy crap, I look like I am now. But you know. Somebody's going to screen capture that and use that as their...
That's a meme.
Yeah. But,
all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Tales of Dracula, and we're going to wrap it, because I don't want this to be too long, and people are going to be like, Jesus Christ.
It's me!
I already knew that going in. Well, you can't tell the people, look, this is going to be...
We just did.
Yeah, like 50 minutes into it.
Surprise!
So, Tales of Dracula, when did that start filming? And oh my God, you're still going.
Yeah, the film that never ends.
Yeah.
No, I mean that in the nicest way.
And you got more to do, right?
We have one more thing to do.
So you got to go back in the makeup one more time.
We actually started filming in 2019.
Wow.
Everything happened in 2019. And so the majority of it was filmed in 2019.
Yep.
And then I had to do some ADR. For people who don't know, that's audio direct replacement. And what that is for people who don't know, a lot of the times when you see the Hollywood movies and stuff and you hear everything that's going on, a lot of that stuff is not the audio that they recorded on the set. Now on indie movies, more often than not it is, but even then there's things that didn't come out clear. Sometimes you need Foley effects, and that's like something like somebody gets hit and there's somebody in the, ripping a watermelon in half or something like that, or taking a cucumber and hitting it, to do the same thing. Hey, that guy over there. Paparazzi. But,
behind the fence too.
One of your fans.
No.
And he's not on meth. That's something that he said earlier. So don't think I'm ragging on his show or anything like that. I had to go to use the bathroom outside because his bathroom here is off limits because it's too good for me. So I went to a nice and easy, and while I came back, he was talking to one of his fans who just happened to be on meth. So
most of my fans are. No, they're not.
I hope he's not watching this right now.
He doesn't.
No. Okay. But well, we started in 2019, and we did ADR, which is audio. So a lot of that stuff is just you come into the studio, you watch the film, and you're basically watching your lips, and you do the dialogue again, except now you're in a controlled environment, separate sound, which is always necessary. There's some film people that just cannot get it into their head, and the sound comes crappy, and they're like, either they don't care or they're just inexperienced and they don't know. You need to have that separate, because people in general will tolerate bad video up to a point. They will not tolerate bad audio. If there's bad audio, they will turn it right off because they'll be like, I can't understand what's going on.
Season 1.
Well, you know, there was background noise too. I mean, like the first interview and stuff like that, there was a jukebox playing, and so it's like, you know, he gets hit with a copyright claim.
If I had these back then, I would have been good.
Yeah.
I was new. I was learning.
I did tell you about lav mics.
You did.
I did tell you about that.
You did. Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah, and yeah, because you know, just to preview the future of the possible future of Chillin' with Rick, you know, at some point he might have like a green screen. Doesn't necessarily have to be outside. It could be inside, and he can put whatever he wants effect-wise. He could be like traveling through space or something like that.
It's gonna be you and Dracula.
Yeah, and it could. Well, I can't put that makeup on myself. That's Ron Chamberlain. He's an awesome makeup guy.
I'm fascinated with that, by the way.
I got the fangs though, so I could do that.
There you go.
But and the contacts. But you know, you do that, and maybe even like a Zoom thing where it's like totally controlled audio and stuff. Because I just did a Zoom thing with a business thing that at some point I might.
Me, Monster, and Sean Plord just had breakfast a couple weeks ago because we do that every once a month. And next season I'm going to do this like on a laptop and have all the logos on the screen, and I'm going high tech.
Yeah. See, so that's awesome. That's great to hear.
Yep.
You know, because I've done so many interviews. Not to say that I've I'm famous.
Wayne Johnson, almost famous.
Almost. But totally lost. You know, that's me. But you know, going back to where we're with Tales, okay, so all that audio is replaced and stuff and then put in, and you have to match up. And I'm usually pretty good. A lot of actors don't like to do ADR.
Yeah. They
think it's a pain in the ass. I've actually, to the point where I've had a director say, they go, okay, this clip here, you remember right here, you took a breath in. It's very slight.
Wow.
We need you to replicate that and then hold it for this, and then just like you did there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like
it
can be very exacting. It's actually not that hard because you know, it's, you know, you did it before, so you can do it again. You just have to kind of get into that same frame of mind that you were in, and then of course obviously knowing your lines and everything. Yeah. So we did that, and then it turned out the final fight scene didn't come out really well, and I watched it and I was like, yeah,
let's do that again.
It's kind of lame. Yeah. It's not going to work. Let's redo it. So unfortunately they had the whole thing with COVID and everything, so that slowed everything down. And of course, unfortunately with me, I caught COVID pneumonia I was in the hospital on Christmas Eve last year. You know, me and my mother.
Oh.
So what a way to remember Christmas, right?
Yeah.
The New Year. And unfortunately, my mother passed away because of that. First week of January, my father passed away back in 2019. So it's been a little rough. And someone who at one point I was very close to passed away in May. So there's that too.
Yeah.
But anyway, we finally got a schedule going to redo this fight. But then between all that stuff, he was thinking about doing a third Tales of Dracula. And I've learned with Joe, no offense or anything like that, and you'll say, it's done. No more movies. And then all of a sudden, we're filming. You know, and it can change. Let's put it this way. But he has said there's no more Tales of Dracula films after this, unless it explodes.
Yeah.
You know, then of course, and there's money, because that's one of the biggest problems he's had is funding.
Yeah.
Okay. Because especially the way he wants to do it, even though you're doing it the old style, he's like, you know, 1940s and stuff like that, black and white filming. It's still not cheap. And so there was stuff that he had ideas for the third one he's throwing into this one.
Okay.
So first step was redoing the fight, and then the one that's coming up, which is in October. A lot of things happening in October.
My birthday.
There you go. When is your birthday?
6th.
We might be filming that day. Yeah, I don't know.
I wish I could go to set, man. But I know you got to be invited.
Well, we'll see. I mean, no, actually, if you want to come just to film behind the scenes stuff,
yes.
you're more than welcome.
God, that'd be awesome.
Now,
I want to do the makeup process. I think you already did that, though. Didn't you
for
do
the music video or for the
Tales?
Oh,
you
Tales?
did the makeup
No,
process.
Yeah, well, I still have to be in makeup.
Yeah.
For the now, Tales is different. Tales that I can't invite people.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's not
yeah.
my production.
Yeah.
But like a music video, yeah, I can. If somebody wants to come and do
Yeah.
behind the scenes, depending on who you are
Yeah.
and what you
Yeah.
bring to the table. And
This
stuff
is
like
what I
that.
do.
So,
I know I
but
can't go on the tail set. You got to be
but it's going to
invited.
be very interesting. No, because there's stuff like, you know, you'll see like a graveyard and stuff, and
Yeah.
a bunch of outdoor things, and the fight and everything, and that's actually all indoors. It's all built inside.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I went there, and I was like, wow, I'm so glad, because it was like, it's supposed to rain.
It was
And
raining,
It did.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
raining like crazy. But we were inside, so it was no problem. Unfortunately, the last time I was there, it was hot, way hotter than here.
You're sweating your makeup off.
I was sweating it at times faster than it was putting on.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that I didn't look, because of the wonderful gift that COVID gave me, which not too many people know, which I guess I can say now, because it left me the gift of accelerated hair loss for a while, for about 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
And at one point, I was starting to get a little close to having a skullet, which, if you don't know what that is, that's like Hulk Hogan.
That's what Rick has.
No, it's like you have the mullet there, and it's like starting here, but you're bald up here, and it was like you could see the flesh.
Yeah, that's
through
not
there.
good,
And
man.
I used to have thick hair that covered everything. Like if I was like doing this now, it would be like right here.
Yeah.
I've lost about half of that.
Wow.
It was coming out in clumps at times, and it was just like.
Yeah, you said beautiful hair, man.
I've had so many people tell me, like, if you ever cut your hair, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's when you're, it's kind of a vain thing, but it's like, you know, when you associate your self-image with a certain look, and then you drastically change it and throw on top of that, it's not your choice to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things where at some point I said, look, if I lose it, I lose it. That's just the way it is. You know, a lot of famous actors, not that I'm putting myself in that category, you know, take like Chris Hemsworth, Thor. You know, when he did the first Thor movie, he had long hair.
Yeah.
I think it was the second or third one where he didn't want to have long hair anymore. Yeah. So that's why in Thor Ragnarok he's got the short hair.
Yeah.
But you know, when he needs it long, he's wearing a wig.
Yeah.
You know, if I could find where those wigs are that are, or the extensions.
They're at wwj.com for
yeah.
$29.99.
Well, that was a rain wig, yeah. Along with the sniper.
I keep getting flashbacks to the 19 interview.
Yeah, you know, the weirdest thing we were going to have, it was on Caroline Blue, and I remember telling former bass player Johnny Sniper this on stage in front of a live crowd at Max Bad Art Bar, and we had a lot of people in front of us, and I was promoting the band and merchandise and stuff, and I said, you could also find the Sniper diaper, which was like a thong with his face on it, and he didn't know about that, and he's like talking to a girl, and he's like, you know, I'm like, got everyone laughing and stuff like that. And it's like, I think it was actually up for a while. I don't know if we sold any. I can't remember if we did, but nobody wants to buy.
I don't own the Sniper.
That's like birth control, putting my face on a thong. You know, so it's like, no, you don't need that. So, but yeah, it's. So we got the one scene to go. Hopefully, there's not going to be any delays, because it would be nice. I mean, it's great working with everybody on the crew. They're all very professional. It's great.
What's the scene that's left? Can you say?
It's an earlier scene.
Okay.
It's about as far as I can go about it. It's something that.
You got to respect that.
Well, it's, see, I'm not sure, because you know, that's another thing. It's like sometimes I'll be told, well, we can't put pictures up of certain people because they're a surprise. Then I'll see pictures up, and I'll be like, what happened?
You just told me I couldn't.
You just told me I couldn't do it. Is it just me because I've got like 47,000, Facebook friends that, well, the whole news feed and stuff like that. Only a certain amount can see it.
Yeah.
And stuff. And,
yeah.
To play that game. And
so what's that makeup like? Does that bother you to be in that?
No.
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 The contacts bother you, right?
The contacts did at that point, because I'm wearing contacts right now.
Yeah.
And I put them on this morning, and I was like, yeah, they fit great, because they're prescription, they're made for me and stuff like that. But the ones you buy, you order online, they're just like paper thin, and you got to be careful with them. And my right eye is shaped a little differently, so when I put that on, first of all, it took me forever to put that on, and then it's irritating. It's irritating. I got attacked.
Budget cuts for
Security!
outside.
And it took me a while, and there have been past shoots where it's bugging me so bad like it's actually hurting. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and so I have to go in pain throughout set. The first night I did Night of Something Strange. I had those contacts in, but I had the makeup on, and they didn't need me for like 6 hours or something like that. It was ridiculous. They got me in makeup at like 11 o'clock at night, but I wasn't needed on set until 5
Wow.
in the morning. So I was in a trailer with air conditioning because they had to cool me down because I was sweating and stuff. And that, if you ever seen that makeup from Cornelius, Night of Something Strange, I've got an appliance on, so it's covering half my face. I've got all this stuff, there's goo on me and stuff, so I can't touch my eyes at all. So I'm in pain, sitting across a guy who's smoking pot, and pulling it into my face at times, and I'm just like...
Can I ask a question? Why didn't they put the contacts in last? Why couldn't they do that at like 5
Because
a.m.?
with everything that's around there, well, first of all, it's easier for you to put your own contacts in.
Okay.
Because I've tried to put contacts on somebody else, and it's harder than hell because you got to be really careful. Because obviously you could do damage to the eye real quick. So it's just easier for you to do it yourself. But my hands were coated.
Oh.
And it's just easier because what happens is when you do that, the liquid runs down on the makeup and everything, and then it's got to be touched up. Now, if I'm sweating, it's like, well, you know, it's got to be touched up anyway. I mean, some of the pictures I put up from the last shoot, you can see there's beads of sweat all over my face, and it's just like I'm just standing there.
I appreciate you making the video in makeup, full Dracula makeup, and doing the video. That was cool.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I actually have I have 2 videos. Actually 3.
Scary as shit, too.
One is, thank you. Ron appreciates that, definitely. He's great makeup.
I was watching, I was like, Jesus, wait.
I've got this one where I'm also doing the voice, you know, where it's that low.
Yeah.
And where one is me using the bathroom, and another one is me eating pizza with the fangs. That's not easy to do with those fangs.
You didn't release it. It was supposed to be for me.
I haven't released those yet. Yeah, I haven't released those yet. And it's like, because I keep, like I said, there's so much stuff to release.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get, you know, all of a sudden something else comes. It's like, here's this. Oh, well, what's going on? Let me fix this, or let me do this. And
the last time you're in the makeup, do another video like that, because that's just cool.
Yeah.
People want to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had done that back with Night of Something Strange, but back then, the phones weren't as developed in 2011 as they are now. And I mean, back then, it was like, I think we were still like, you could only do like 10 texts a day or something stupid like that. You know, and right now it's like, what are you talking about? But yeah, back in the early days, there were times where you could only do 10 texts a day. I mean, I remember, this is how...
If you had a girlfriend, they were gone.
This is how far back we are with Caroline Blue here. First of all, just to make this like a reality check here, some of the guys, both Ned and Juliana are like 22 years old. Jay is 30 years old.
Okay.
I am years old.
Yeah.
And
that I don't know,
the
guys.
thing is, Caroline Blue did its first show in 2001, so Ned and Juliana were like 2 or 3 years old.
Wow.
And Jay was like maybe 10. So that's kind of freaky when you think about it.
And Wayne's 45. He's my age.
I am not 45.
Take the compliment.
Well, it's not. It's either an insult or a compliment. I'm not going to say either one. You know, but
it's an instrument.
But I will say this though. Unfortunately, COVID did wipe that out. I don't have my youthful appearance anymore. I don't have. You know, there's wear and tear.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected with all the things that have happened, and I'm slowly climbing out of that grave.
You still look good, Wayne.
Well, thank you. But it's a work in progress, let's put it that way. And if it doesn't get past where it is now, then that's fine. I mean, we all get older. We all deteriorate one way or the other. I'm not looking forward to possibly, I mean, if I ever get in a wheelchair or something like that, like normally, that would be sad. Yeah. But, you know, it's life, you know. It depends on, you know, you try to take care of yourself.
Yep.
Tales of Dracula 2 hopefully will be out by October of next year.
Oh, next year.
Because this is the final thing we're doing, and once we're done with that, and everything else has already been edited and stuff, so it shouldn't take too long. But I know we can't do it this October because I already asked about that because I thought he said initially, because sometimes he'll do that. He'll say it's going to be out like months ahead of time. I usually don't like to do that myself because I've had a bad experience with the Not for the Innocent disc. Actually, I made an announcement and I had it as part of a fundraiser saying it's going to be out by the end of August. And then I had problems with the person who was doing the artwork, and that'll be in the book. Possibly. And but I wasn't able to release that until, like, ready to release it until the last day of that, and it pissed me off so bad because I'm not one of those people that, let's put it this way: if I'm going to announce that a new Caroline Blues CD is out, I'm going to have boxes of the Caroline Blues CD there. There, it's already done. I'm not going to announce when it's still being worked on. That's for announcing it's still being worked on. That to me just seems like common sense, but there's so many people that do that, and they try to build up a buzz and everything like that. But it's like these days, and that's another thing. It's like
everybody wants everything now.
They want it yesterday. They want it the day before yesterday, and they want.
I already want you in the makeup for the last time making the damn video.
I mean, my YouTube page, it's very sporadic. There's a couple of videos that actually are doing very well, like 10,000 plus. And then there's some that are doing 5. But I can't put out everything every day. Not at this time right now. I would love to. I've got more than enough material. I just have to digitize it. But maybe at some point, and I'm going to work at it. But again, I'm kind of juggling plates in the air myself. So
you're about to get real busy.
Yeah, and it's happened before, but things are different now. For a number of reasons. Mostly personal, and my life has totally changed since. But my life, actually, if I can get a little personal here, it's okay. Since I would say definitely by 2017, but I would say even a little earlier, since 2015, it's been kind of on a downward spiral, more often than not. And then got really bad in 2019. It got even worse the end of this year towards the beginning of. I should say, towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, and a lot of things have changed for me, and I'm not as my head is in a different spot in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it's not. Obviously, I'm still pursuing this, what I'm doing with music and acting, and eventually writing and possibly film producing, and twerking. Got to make the money somehow.
That's right.
Although the problem, I'm trying to get the right adhesive for that, because when I twerk, I usually have my butt pads on, but then they start like kind of coming out a little bit, and then one will go flying, and then it'll go into some like old lady's face, and then I'll get sued. So I got to be careful about stuff like that. Assault, like twerking assaults and stuff like that. And,
Don't go back to that newspaper article. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Poppers.
Jalapeno poppers. Yeah, if you don't know what that is, just go on my Facebook page. There's a wonderful picture of me. There's one that's got a filter on it, and there's one there isn't. It's from the Four Large Men days. It's a show we did at the Taz in Binghamton for Battle of the Bands, and there was a review from a critic who saw the band, and it's a he. I didn't know at the time. I thought it was a woman because of what he wrote. She wrote, whatever. And because apparently, according to him, we were moving around and doing our thing and stuff. Like,
you thrust your groin.
And we were in our freshly pressed jeans and our leather vests and stuff, and doing all this stuff and just having fun. Until a particularly large man, which they were talking about me, which does my ego good, except I think it caught up with me because on stage I introduced myself. One of the ways I'd introduce myself is What a Wide Johnson instead of Wayne W. Johnson. What a Wide Johnson, which is a girth thing. But it's kind of caught up with me because the God said, "Oh, let him pay for that." So that's why my Tinder profile has no hits. No, I don't have. I'm not on Tinder. My face might be somewhere there, but I'm not on there.
He canceled.
But the review basically said I jumped off the stage, got on his table, and I sweated all over him. And then on top of that, I was also grinding my groin into his face while my sweat was going all over him, his pride, and his jalapeno peppers.
I still love that story.
I have video of that show, and I do have, there's a video, it is in the video. I think it does show me jumping off the stage, but I don't recall jumping onto a table, let alone grinding my face into, grinding my groin into some guy's face.
I'd rather you not, Wayne.
I'd rather not either. The Taz shows were interesting, the ones that we did there. Mike could probably tell you some interesting stuff there, because
I kind of, and I'm just going to say this. I'm sorry, Mike, that this happened because I'm not going to. I'll let him tell it. You know, there was a thing where we were carpooling and he had to drive us back, and I just left him on a corner with some girl while I was with some other girl doing some stuff, which wasn't much at all because I'm mostly all show and no go. I've got more failures when it comes to women than successes, unfortunately. But
there's not much aerobic activity going on anymore.
there wasn't that night.
There wasn't that night.
Mike was, and then on top of it, I'm falling asleep, so he had to take the wheel, and
Mikey, take the wheel.
he, you know, I woke up one time and he's.
Oh, get her, monster!
No, not with somebody. No, he was married at the time, and he was faithful and stuff. But he was trying to stay awake.
Oh, okay.
So and it's, you know, so I'm just like, I just fell right back asleep again, you know, because that's what I do. I'm always tired.
Yeah.
Even back then, I was always tired, and for whatever reason and stuff.
I'm an overnight worker. I got out of work at 7 a.m. and I was up at 11 for this. That's how much I love you, Wayne.
I appreciate that because I used to work overnights too. I actually.
I'm dead tired all the time.
I kind of appreciate it. I used to work 12-hour shifts overnights, and it was an interesting. You didn't have to deal with the public. There's good and bad with dealing with the public. Don't think I hate the public. I don't. But there's just, you know, anyone who's dealt with the public knows there's good and there's bad.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
I just burped right now, so that didn't
It's all
come
good,
through on
man.
your mic.
So I think we covered everything I wanted to cover.
Well, now we're going to get to what I want to cover.
Yes.
And right now I'm covering this.
Yes.
You know, because he's already,
He said hard.
he's a hard.
Well, watch his music videos. It's horrifying. It's a little.
is?
Yes,
Really?
one is. You're a creeper. You're a creeper in it.
Which one?
I think you have eyes and you're chasing some girl up the stairs and you're going all nice and slow. And I forget the name of the song.
That's not cringe. That's cheesy.
It's still.
That's a cheesy video.
Well.
Oh my God.
I don't want to
no,
slam you.
Granted, I'm the self-proclaimed king of cheese, but it's
Yes.
like in CNY. But we're going to be doing another video for that song.
Yeah.
There's some things in there that it wasn't my idea.
Hopefully, I'm in one of these said videos. That would be a dream.
Yeah. It's very possible.
WWJ can make my dream come true. Oh, God, Lord, help me. TMI. No,
Awkward.
this isn't porn, Wayne.
No,
We're not going to go into the porn
I would
realm.
never be in porn. The elevator for Hotel Wayno would be like out of order more often than not.
What do you want to say? We're going to wrap this up.
That was me doing emotional damage to myself. But I'm an expert at it, so. Another Stephen He thing. That was badly done, but watch his stuff. It's really cool. And Uncle Roger. Great stuff.
Caroline Blue?
You know, there's a flyer missing from the VFW.
Yeah.
And now I know where it is.
September 24th?
Just to let people know. Okay, so we have here. There's Ned right here. There's Juliana. There's Cheesemo. And then there's Jay.
Yeah. Perfect. I might have to get you to autograph that for me, Wayne.
I will autograph that as
Because this is your
Stephen D. Martinez.
This is your welcome back show, man.
Basically, we're back.
I'm going to be there that night all night long.
You're not going to leave after
Nope.
we do I've Seen the Light Tonight?
I'm staying. You got me for that night, man.
I'm still going to put it at the end of this. I'm still going to do that.
Roy would be very proud of you for that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's one of those things where I'm hoping everything goes well.
It will.
You can only do, you know, you can prepare for so much, and then you let the chips fall where they may.
You are bringing the sweat rag, right?
I'll probably have two of these things and a big jug of water, and I gotta watch out because I can't have it close to an amp because I was in another band at one time where there was some water on my amp and the singer hit it and it went into the back of my amp and fried it right on stage. It was a wonderful thing, and I had been in a car accident earlier that day too.
Jesus.
It was wonderful.
It's all in the book.
It could be all in the book. Who knows? The book might just be me with pictures. It might be a picture book.
So
it's not going to sell anything.
Saturday, September 24th, 2022, obviously. Oneida American Legion, special guest as if. That's my boy, Scotty D.
Doing some awesome 90s
Show
stuff.
starts at 7.
Yeah, they start at 7. We go on around 9. Actually, I had contacted Scott because we do some stuff. If you go on CarolineBlue.net, in the songs area, one of the sub-menus will say cover songs.
Yeah.
So all from the beginning onward, you'll see all the different songs that we've played. And we've played some stuff from the 90s, so I didn't want to cause any overlap or anything like that. Obviously, they're going on first, so if there was a problem, it would be a problem with us. But you know, I still didn't want. It's their moment.
Yes.
So I didn't want to take anything away.
Yep.
So just to let him know, and he gave me a set list. And I'm like, yeah, we're not doing any of the same songs, so it's cool.
No overlapping.
No overlap. So.
You're good, man.
Because there are bands that kind of get touchy about that. Not these guys. I mean, I don't know them except for Scott, and it's only from a few conversations because I spelled the name of the band wrong on the first printing of the.
I've done it too.
Yeah, and
he says "bro" a lot.
yeah, and but you know, sounds like a great guy. The band sounds like
He's
it's
wonderful.
great. I mean, they got like 2 drummers, like because one drummer, you know, they're so busy.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
He's
so
always
awesome.
gigging.
Yeah, that's great.
That's gonna be you soon, man. Always gigging.
Well, we're more original oriented, so it's like I'll be happy. You know, there's a plan with that in place as well. But I would definitely be happy playing. You know, if I could play out every week, it would be great. It's like I've said this before. You know, the worst time doing any type of creative work, whether it's acting, music, writing, anything like that, any of the creative things. The worst day doing that is better than the best day doing 9 to 5.
Absolutely.
It's just it. You know, and believe me, I've had some worse days. I've had some days where I've been damaged, I'm bleeding, I'm in pain. I threw my leg out doing a roundhouse kick on someone, and my knee just like buckled, and all of a sudden it's like I'm limping, and I still have to complete the fight scene. I've had things where I'm falling on concrete constantly with no padding. I've had things where like the wall thing. I got injured on Night of Something Strange. I've injured myself, property, and unfortunately other actors by accident, of course. You know, and I would repeat that without hesitation all over again, whether it's acting or music, instead of doing 9 to 5.
He's actually broke a shark too.
There's some wonderful people in 9 to 5. Don't get me wrong. There's wonderful people that I work with in all the different jobs that I've done, like the regular jobs and stuff like that. But it's not. My heart's not into it.
Yeah.
I'm just not cut out for that. I mean, I do it because I have to, because you got bills to pay, you got responsibilities to do. You have to be an adult.
Five Paw needs to eat.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, I'm still an immature little brat inside to a degree, but yeah, at some point, you whether you want to or not, you end up taking on responsibilities and you have to be an adult, the adult in the room. And, yeah, don't let that go.
God, this has got to get autographed yet.
Yeah. Well, I might have more at the show. At the show. Maybe. It depends on how many flyers get ripped off from the VFW, as well as some other places. But yeah, I mean, you know, there was a time when I was young, dumb, full of cum, like I said earlier. And,
love the reference.
you know, but I made some mistakes that are common. I mean, I played, you know, tons of video games and, you know, chasing women and all that stuff and everything. I had to give up video games completely. I mean, I have a PS5. I played it once, and that was only for like less than 15 minutes. That's it. I don't have the time. I'm not going to make the time. You know, if I want to do all these other things. I mean, at some point there will be a time.
Get out and make money, Wayne.
Well, yeah, that's twerking.
Yeah. Somebody's got to do it.
No, they don't. Right now, there's people going, yeah, Wayne doesn't have to twerk.
No, Wayne does not have to twerk.
He can make money another way. He doesn't have to be shaking his ever-increasing booty.
Well, man,
In the wrong way.
We're gonna wrap this up.
We are.
Stop it.
We just started.
No, we did not
We're on hour 2 now.
I knew this was gonna be a long
We for those who don't know, the record right now is I did a little
Yeah, we're
over
not
4
touching
hours. And even I can't watch it half the time unless I space it out because it's just so long. So,
Yeah.
But I am my biggest fan, and I see that's kind of funny, but in a way, just to say that it's not really a joke, but it is, but it isn't. If you want to get a little zen here, because you have to be your biggest fan, because you're the source of your motivation. It's wonderful to have the external motivation.
Yep. Keep talking, Wayne. Oh. Don't worry about that spider. It was just on you.
Really? Yeah. But I mean, you can have all the external motivation you want, but eventually it fades. It has to come from the inside. You have to be rooting for yourself, because at some point there's going to be times, no matter how successful you are, no matter what you're going through and stuff, there's going to be times where you're it. There's no one around you, whether that's actual in reality or your head's putting it in there. You got to be your biggest fan. You got to be there has to be something in you that fuels everything. Anger can do it to a point, as long as you don't get it to rage. Anger, I don't know if I've ever said this before, anger can be a wonderful fuel. It definitely has for me for many years for things, but you have to be really careful. It's like gasoline. I mean, it fuels your car, but one bad spark and it blows up. Yep. Anger is the same way, and it works on the inside of you. And it can do a lot of damage, but you can control it to a degree, and it can fuel you up to a degree. But if it turns into rage, then there's a problem. That's when you don't have control anymore. You have some control when you're in the anger stage, but once it turns into rage and gets into hatred, that's really bad, because now you're really doing a lot of damage to yourself on the inside, let alone what you're doing on the outside, because you're not in control. So you got to be careful with that. But anger, you can to a degree. I definitely have done it for many, many years. That was a big force with Caroline Blue for a while, and some of the songs kind of talk about that.
Yeah.
But you definitely need, the quotes I do like online. That's for me.
Yeah.
I mean, if people get something out of it, that's awesome. But that, the positive stuff, because every once in a while the negative stuff pops in. Yeah. I kind of have that problem a little bit here. It pops in, all of a sudden I'm fucking like suicidal or something like that. It's like, but I usually snap out of it in the day, and it doesn't help that sarcoidosis gives you brain fog. Yeah. So sometimes your mind is so clouded that it's like, okay, I'm not getting anything done tonight. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it is. That's the cards I've been dealt with, and that's what you got to do. But take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and you'll get there. It might not be what you're expecting, but you'll get there.
Yeah.
It might be a different result. Might be something totally like, oh my God, I'm here, and it's
great.
like, wow, this is not what I expected it to be. But
yeah. Wayne Johnson here and now.
Wayne W. Johnson.
Yeah.
There's too many Wayne Johnsons in Central New York.
I could have called you Dwayne Johnson. Do we want to go down that rabbit hole?
Emotional damage.
Perfect time to end it. Wayno, thank you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
And thank you all for tuning in, for putting up with my crap.
Yep.
And we will see you hopefully
down the road.
Down the road, and also
September 24th.
September 24th. We'll see you there. And if not, go to
Keep talking, Wayne.
WayneWJohnson.com. Go to Facebook. Wayne W. Johnson. WWJ Official is my acting page. Caroline Blue Official is the Caroline Blue page on Facebook. WWJ Musician is my musician page on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Caroline Blue is also on all those pages. And I'm here by myself because... There we go. You know what he was doing behind that camera right
yes.
there? You know what he was doing?
Go ahead.
He was unzipping.
Yes.
And he was going to show me his manhood.
Oh.
And
You got tweezers with you?
Huh?
You got tweezers?
Tweezers?
Yeah. In order to see my
manhood.
manhood.
I am not going to pluck your hairs. You were just talking about shaving down there before we were on there. I'm not.
I did not.
Yes, you were. We're talking about shaving over here.
Do I smell Axe?
Well. Okay.
We're ending this.
Okay.
Come on, Wayne.
Bye.
Bye.